Peabody Essex Museum was founded in 1799 in Salem, Massachusetts by the East India Marine Society, an organization of Salem captains and supercargo ships who would sail farther than the Cape of Good Hope or Cape Horn. The charters would pick up a diverse collection of objects from their trips off the coast of locations like America, Asia, Africa, Oceania, India, and elsewhere. It was known as the Cabinet of Natural and Artificial Curiosities. The East India Marine Company opened up their collection to the public free of charge. This would be known as the East India Marine Hall. Around 1821, residents founded the Essex Institute. Around 1867, the East India Marine Society sold its building and 5,000 objects in its collection to the newly created Peabody Academy of Science. The Essex Institute also transferred its natural history and archaeology collection to the newly created Peabody Academy of Science. This was because of tight financial straits during the Civil War. George Peabody, a wealthy philanthropist who was American living in London, offered $10 million in today's dollars to the Essex Institute in 1866. Peabody requested that the East India Marine Hall and the Essex Institute must merge and a new board of trustees must govern it. However, the Essex Institute declined the offer. Dr. Henry Wheatland resigned as the president of the Institute's board in disgust with the decision, and with Peabody's approval opened the Peabody Academy of Science. Dr. Frederick Ward Putnam was hired as the director of the academy. Nearly a decade later, however, the spending of the museum ran out of control, and by 1878 the academy had spent most of Peabody's gift. The academy was in financial trouble and turned to Edward Sylvester Morse, who was a college dropout from many universities. Morse specialized in the study of brachiopods. Highly independent, Morse did not seem like the ideal choice to save the museum. However, he was appointed as the director to the academy. Immediately after accepting his post at the museum, Morse traveled to Japan to study a rare type of brachiopod. Morse immediately fell in love with the Japanese art, architecture, and culture. Gazing out the window of a railway car on a railway from Yokohama to Tokyo, he spotted a large shell mound. He immediately noticed that this shell held the key to Japanese history. He excavated the mound in Oda City and initiated the study of archaeology in Japan. Morse's love for Asian art and culture profoundly changed the future of the museum. Morse redefined the mission of the museum to focus on international art, maritime art and history, and natural history. During the mid-80s is when Morse was persuaded to collect maritime art and history by John Robinson, deputy director of the museum. In 1915, the Academy changed its name to the Peabody Museum of Salem. Under fundraising, the museum again was expanded in the 1880s and again in 1908. Morse was more focused on the Asian art, adding more objects to the collections. The Oceanic, African, and Native American collections grew, as well as the maritime collection. The museum in 2005 was a unique member of the art museum community. It began to attract larger audiences, more repeat visitors, and brought in a large financial support. The museum likes art and culture, and it gives the visitor a richer experience than other art or history museums. The Peabody Essex Museum not only enlightens society and creates a more broad understanding for other countries' arts, but the attention it brings to the city of Salem, Massachusetts is huge. Following the opening of the museum, attendance increased by 250%. During its transformation, it attained international visibility through coverage of the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, CBS, and other media networks. The museum's impact was not just economic, but social as well. The Peabody Essex Museum was a great source for the people of Salem and towns all around to come and learn about other cultures and even their own maritime achievements. The Peabody Essex Museum was not only a museum, but a place to host gatherings and events, and a meeting place. The museum hosted weddings, parties, and all types of gatherings as well. The Peabody Essex Museum has films, tours, classes, lectures, and concerts. The museum today holds over 1.3 million pieces and 24 historic buildings, and it continues to enlighten our society on the culture and wonders of other countries since 1799.